I've been on YouTube a little more than a year now, but I've never really shared with you what caused me to start gardening. And in this video, I'm going to give you a little bit of my backstory and the weird reason that I started wanting to grow my own food. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle and welcome back to my meadow. I'm gardening in zone 9A in Northeast Florida. I'm not an expert gardener, but I love showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and embracing the imperfection that learning to garden has to offer. Now, if you're not interested in my backstory, groovy, it's no problem for me, but I thought it would be kind of fun to share with you in this video. You see, I got invited to a blogger event years ago, and a bunch of bloggers were there. They took our pictures. We were in the local paper, and I pulled open the local paper, and I was looking for the picture of us at the party, and I couldn't find myself. It's not because I wasn't in the paper. It's because I did not recognize myself. And I'm going to share this photo with you. This is a little personal, but I think it matters. And trust me, I know I see myself. I'm not a size 2 now either. But that picture made me go, oh my God, what am I doing to myself with food? And the more that I learned about processed food and the more that I came to understand about the freshness and the quality, the more I wanted to grow my own. But I lived in a condo. And so I didn't really have the ability to go out and grow a whole bunch of food or start gardening really on a larger scale. Now, fortunately, Mom, who is super kind and very loving, said I could grow some stuff in her backyard. And I did. I started creating a garden back there. And in fact, I had a couple of little square foot gardening boxes that I learned to garden with. And it went really well. But since I didn't live there and I had to get in my car every day and drive to take care of it, to water it and to weed it, it really became untenable for me. It just wasn't something that I could do. And then I thought, well, maybe, just maybe, I could use a community garden. And I'd been learning more about permaculture and using reclaimed materials and a little bit of hugelkultur. And I thought this would be great. You had a chance to get your own plot and do what you wanted to do on it. And the water would be provided. They had sprinkler systems, so that would make my job a lot easier. Well, just as I started building out my garden beds, they sort of had a board meeting and decided they wanted the gardens to look much neater. They invested in a bunch of paving stones, and they did not want my pallet garden, this reclaimed material, to make things ugly. And so I decided I wouldn't garden there. They wanted to take me away from the spot that I had been assigned, which was the low end where all the water ran off. That would give a lot of water to my garden, and they said I couldn't be there because it was in the front and my garden plan wasn't pretty enough to be in the community garden. So I didn't garden then either. Then I found these really cool buckets, and in fact I like them so much I'm hoping to try them again here on this patio soon. But it was great on the patio. I grow a good little bit of food with these buckets, but the problem is, because they created this beautiful damp little area on this very small patio, it was very attractive to a whole bunch of palmetto bugs. And the missus had about enough when one too many flew into the house when she opened the patio door. So that was done. That was done. And so I just sort of gave up on the idea of gardening. And in fact, we just had a few buckets on the patio. I did some milkweed so that I could feed the butterflies. And I really didn't think about it anymore until we moved here. And when we found this property, we talked about the idea that it was large enough for me to really begin to learn to garden. And I got so excited. And that's why I love this property. Everything about it was perfect for us. It's in the location that's good. And I just really found that I wanted it to happen here. So over in this area of my garden, I started by putting in some logs. I filled it in with wood chips, and I buried grow bags into the wood chips with some soaker hoses running underneath. And that worked out all right, but I found it was really hard digging through all of the grow bags trying to get into the things that I chose to plant. I still didn't know a whole lot about gardening, but I sure got to learn a whole lot about what would work really well in a grow bag. And determine that tomatoes are great. Cucumbers without a trellis, not so much. Then we saw Mark over on his channel with his birdies beds, and I kind of got really excited about that, but we felt like we could do it a little cheaper. And I found someone on Facebook Marketplace who was building these cedar raised garden beds with the galvanized panels. And it was about 220 bucks at the time for this particular bed, but they didn't deliver. So I then had to go and rent a trailer so I could get it home. And then we brought it in and installed it in the garden, and it has been great. So when we decided to expand, I thought maybe I will learn how to do this for myself. And the price of lumber went through the roof. It just couldn't be done for any better price than I could purchase a birdies bed. And about that same time, I discovered the Epic Gardening website where I could buy them here in the United States. Now, if you have been with this channel since the beginning, you know that's what I chose to do. And in fact, it's the reason I even have this channel, because my wife suggested that I get one of the birdies beds and another brand just to do a comparison, because I wasn't sure which one I would like to have. I didn't know which one would feel like a sturdy, strong bed. And ever since then, I have been learning so much about raised garden beds. And if I wanted to build another bed like the cedar and galvanized panel bed, it actually would cost me more than $240 right now at current lumber prices. Plus, I'm not sure if it would fit in my minivan, so I might even have to borrow or rent a truck in order to bring the materials home. Then I'm going to have to cut them up. Then I'm going to have to screw them all together and make it work. Or I can choose more of the birdies beds. I got to tell you, with the sale that they are having for Memorial Day, I'm going with the birdies beds. It is buy 3, get 1 free. All you have to do is add 4 beds to your cart, and automatically they will discount you the lowest price bed. And on top of that, if you use my coupon code MEADOW, you'll save 5% more on the other 3 beds. It's really quite the deal, and it delivers straight to your house. Maybe you don't want to get all 4 beds. Maybe you can't use all 4 beds. Well, perhaps a neighbor would be interested in some, or a friend, or an early Christmas present. I hope Mom's not watching this one. That's an idea. So really and seriously, if you're interested in having some kind of a raised garden bed, you definitely don't want to miss a chance to get the biggest sale of the year over at Epic Gardening. This is going to be my chance to get those beds in for Orchard Row that I've been talking about for months and months and months. And as always, in full disclosure, I am an affiliate for Epic Gardening. I will make a small commission when you make a purchase through my link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help to support this channel and my family. And so I'm grateful when you take a moment to come back to my videos to click on those links to make your purchase. It really and truly does make a difference. Now let's talk about what I have loved in having this birdies raised garden bed. One of my first things to do first thing in the morning is to grab my cup of coffee and walk around the garden and take a look and see what's growing on. One of the great things about having the birdies tall raised garden bed in the garden is it makes it really easy for me to see any little weeds that have popped up, and I can pull them out. It's easy for me to do the planting. And even last year when I was gardening with one arm because I had shoulder surgery, it made planting out the beds, watering them, and maintaining them super easy for me. And it was really wonderful. And I got to tell you, it beats the heck out of bending over to the shorter raised garden beds that I have made later. And in fact, even last fall, I decided to plant my sweet potatoes in the birdies beds because I wanted them in a contained area because I was doing an experiment. And I got to tell you, the experiment worked, and I got a bunch of potatoes out of my birdies raised garden bed. I don't think I'll ever intentionally plant them all the way in the ground ever again. It feels good to be healthier and stronger. I enjoy having my own food come out of the yard. And it's kind of crazy that that one picture of me, even though I looked at myself in the mirror every day, that one picture of me made me realize I needed to be on a different journey. Now being in the garden does many things for me. 1, I get some great food. 2, I get to learn a new skill. But most importantly, I get exercise, I get fresh air, I get sunshine, but not too much. Remember to wear that sunscreen, right? And I really get to enjoy doing something that lowers my stress and creates a lot of happiness and joy for me. So going to that blogger event, seeing my picture in the paper, me not even recognizing myself, was one of the best gifts I could have ever gotten on my journey to health. You guys know I talk about Coach Kim and how she helps me out and the encouragement she gives me. It has been such a blessing to be able to meld all of these things together. And I probably will never be a size 2, but I can continue working on my health and fitness, and the garden is a really great way for me to do that. So I want to encourage you, if you've been thinking about gardening, if you think gardening might be for you, start with one plant. Just do something, because you're going to be a little healthier and a little happier because of it. And so it's just a great way for me to let go of all the things that are going on indoors and get outside and get some peace and joy in the things that I am doing. I am so grateful for everybody who watches these videos. I don't think you really know how much it impacts our lives. It takes a lot of work to do this, so having you engaged really means so much. And really, my entire family is starting to get excited about the channel. As you've seen in some of the videos, my wife is starting to do some garden to table video content with me by doing the cooking. Mom is letting me do some filming in her garden, and maybe one day I'll be able to get them both on camera. My sister-in-law is offering ideas for creating shorts, and everybody's starting to get engaged. They're beginning to have fun too. And so it makes it really cool that I can take something that started with just a picture and get my whole family involved, and now involve you and hopefully encourage you to make great choices with your food, learn how to garden, and just have a wonderful time in your life. So I've gotten a lot more mushy than I expected to in this video, but I did want to say that thank you. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. If you are thinking about getting a Birdies raised garden bed, I'd appreciate you clicking on my link. And if you know of someone who may be thinking about it, feel free to send them this video. They can learn a little bit more about my journey and maybe help them make a decision that's right for them, whether that's building their own beds or choosing to purchase a Birdies raised garden bed. Until next time, my friends, remember to drink plenty of water, wear that high quality sunscreen, and as always, have a fantastic day.